Springs Cafe. Before astronauts walked on the moon, they first took some giant leaps in northern Arizona. The Apollo 11 crew tested their skills and equipment on the surfaces of the Meteor Crater and Cinder Lake Crater Field.
Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
There's never been a more important time to make sure facts and the truth are driving conversation. Washington Week is an island of civil discourse in a chaotic media environment. On Friday night, we gather the best reporters in the nation to unpack what's really happening and have a conversation that's not about point of view, but about informing the American people.
Washington Week. All new Friday night at 7 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Deanne Griebel, now with Moores & Cabot Investments, serving investors since 1890, proudly supports quality programming on 8 Arizona PBS, 480-725-9602.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Jennifer Alvarez.
And I'm Matthew Roy. Thank you for joining us. September is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month.
So tonight we're focusing on the group most at risk of dying by suicide compared to any other racial group in the United States, Native Americans.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Cronkite News traveled to a reservation to see for ourselves the frightening reality many Native families face and how their communities are coming together to end the stigma associated with mental health.
Plus, the statistics behind the epidemic. We'll tell you what age group is most in danger and how many Native Americans suffer from serious psychological distress.
And finally, what's being done to build a stronger sense of self in Native youth.
Tonight, a Cronkite News special report, Breaking the Silence. Native Americans have the highest suicide rates in the nation, and young Native Americans face an even greater risk. Here in the Southwest, efforts are underway to overcome the stigma of talking about mental health and to help Native youth build resiliency and connect with their culture. I traveled to White River, Arizona, where those whose lives have been touched by suicide came together to offer prayers for those lost and words of support for those left to carry on. On a cool summer's day in the White Mountain Apache community, a group of people gather to remember loved ones.
We tend to blame ourselves for what happened. We tend to beat ourselves down because we weren't there.
Tonita Harvey is much too familiar with the feeling.
We should have been there. We could have been there.
Her cousin died by suicide a few years ago, but the memory of her passing is still fresh in her mind.
It was very tragic for all of us to get the news early in the morning and wonder and then research and figure out what happened. And you have a lot of questions. You know, you don't know where they're going or what happened. Did they suffer? What were they thinking? All these whys.
Her faith at a crossroads.
It questions your spirituality.
When the tragedy occurred.
In the saddest way. You don't know what the true meaning of life is. If somebody does this, you know, is it good? Is it bad? Is there a God that cares? Why didn't he step in and say something? That's why I'm here for my cousin. And, you know, I have other friends that have killed themselves too, you know, and it's just sad. It's sad knowing that they're hurting and we can't come up with an answer.
The Life is Precious initiative by the Apache Behavioral Health Services tries to at least come up with support through suicide prevention walks like this one.
You think you're alone, but being out here, I see that there's other people. You know, you remember there's other people, other families that suffered.
Harvey is just one of many families. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S., and according to the CDC, suicide disproportionately affects American Indians and Alaska Natives the most among any other racial or ethnic group in the country. Apache Behavioral Health Services hopes to combat these numbers by helping the community open up
just the awareness that it brings.
About how to help each other out.
You know, if people are starting to talk about it a little bit more, maybe people will have the courage enough to say, I need the help. And people will be there to, you know, be able to identify when someone is at risk.
Bless the people that don't know how to ask, you know, because it's a tough battle.
The CDC reports suicide and mental health issues are highly stigmatized in Native American communities, second only to HIV or AIDS.
It's been a taboo for anyone to talk about it here in our community, and so having this open space, maybe someone who's at risk can think, maybe I can talk to them. You know, maybe they'll be able to listen to me.
Just to be there, just to listen, that's all that matters.
And at the end of the day, you might just see a couple of orange peels left behind. But what you might not see are all of the footsteps that the community left behind too. Walking out of today a little stronger.
For us to just come alongside each other and encourage each other and comfort each other and say, you know, we can do this together. That's what we're all here for.
A little more resilient.
And I think that's what we all need to know.
Than they were yesterday.
Is that, you know, there's other people out here that care and love too.
The walk is held every year, and the goal really is to empower the community by allowing them to see that they're not alone, and that together, by starting this conversation, they can make a positive difference. And it's a difference they say really needs to be made, especially among young people. This CDC data tracks suicide rates nationally, and this yellow line right here shows how suicide disproportionately affects Native American young people compared to other ethnic groups, especially for those 15 to 34 years of age. There were 151 deaths by suicide in 2016, but that's only part of the story. 340 of those people made attempts that resulted in hospitalizations. There were 2,000 attempts overall, and 12,000 people reported that they had seriously considered suicide. And among all adults, Native Americans were 2.5 times more likely than whites to report having serious psychological distress. The key to reducing these numbers, according to mental health experts, is teaching coping skills that address feelings like these. I visited Native Health in Phoenix, where a youth resiliency program is helping young Native Americans build better coping skills by building hand drums.
I believe I was started on this path because when I was 11 years old, one of my peers, they completed suicide. And I was the first one to see it. And it changed my whole life. We have such a strong, beautiful culture that I'm so proud of.
Say, I am proud to be indigenous.
You really see the beauty of who we are as a people. But then you also see the bad.
There's a lot of hardships, you know.
There's a lot of healing that needs to be done. I believe it's so vital. Our young people, our American Indian, our Native Indigenous people, we have the highest rates of suicide. Young people, they're striving to find their identity. And if they're growing up out here in the city, and they don't have those connections with, you know, their holy places, or if they're not going to ceremony, they could be lost very easily.
How many of y'all want to make a hand drum? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We are reaching out to young people, those that are growing up in the city that don't necessarily have a direct connection to their homelands or their communities back home and their families and the traditions. And we're trying to give them something here where they can have a connection, a personal connection with who they are as Indigenous people.
Be proud of who you are. You might go into this world and you might feel all this energy over here. You might feel all this energy over here. Son, that has nothing to do with you.
By reintroducing that strong sense of who they are, it's like giving them a tool to combat all these things that are coming at them.
Everybody grab your hide like this. You just hold it and you put your blessing into it. And that's how we're going to start this.
We're hoping that we can give these young people that sense of pride, that strong sense of who they are.
Oh, wait, y'all. Hey. All right, y'all, now we can go.
They were able to create something that was solely theirs. And, you know, they created their own personal design. And it's all a journey for self-discovery, self-identity.
What I learned today is how to make a drum. It's like a reminder of who you are and like not to lose who you are with the world around you.
Are you drum? Are you drum?
Our youth are our next generation. They're the ones that are going to be our next leaders. So if we can impact change with them, then the future is going to be better for our communities.
You got to say it like you believe it. Not like, I am. Let me hear it one time, all right, y'all? I want y'all to feel it. Say, I am proud to be indigenous. Say, we are still here.
The one thing that, you know, I always tell young people is to be a Native person in America right now is incredible. That means you come from such strong blood because your people survived. You come from really strong ancestors.
Touch your chest, your chick-su, your heart. Say, I'm still here. Say, I'm alive. I'm in 4th grade and I'm feeling good. I don't know, somebody's in 4th grade, I don't know.
That's what I want our young people to recognize, to know. Be proud of who you are, of that identity of your culture, because it's so unique.
Take your drum, you'll find a design in there, and that design will relate to you. And they say this is a renewal, this is like a new beginning, but you have to take care of this. And they say if you take care of this, the medicine from this will take care of you.
Culture, identity, spirituality is going to be the answer for a lot of the social ills that we face as a people.
Native Health is an urban health clinic with locations in Phoenix and Mesa. The organization offers culturally sensitive wellness services as well as community programs like these. Leanne told me that while she knows their youth resiliency program can't reach everyone, she hopes to at least help as many young people as she can. And if you or someone you know is in need of immediate support, you can reach the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. For this Cronkite News special report, I'm Jennifer Alvarez.
Coming up next on Cronkite News at 5. With Senator Jeff Flake is now telling fellow Republicans there's still time to save your souls. And should college athletes be allowed to take endorsement deals and get paid for their likeness? It's your chance to weigh in after this.
Cronkite Noticias is the Spanish-speaking division of Cronkite News, covering topics such as economics, education, sustainability, immigration, and border relations. Cronkite Noticias strives to serve the Spanish-speaking community in Arizona. Under the guidance of prominent Spanish-speaking professionals, students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism develop content for our broadcast partner, Univision, as well as on Facebook and Twitter. Explore Cronkite Noticias at cronkitenoticias.azpbs.org.
Stay in the know on the go. At Cronkite News, we work hard to report the facts and keep you updated, whether we're on set or on the scene.
Taking it from the studio to the field. So I'm here in South Phoenix.
In Phoenix, we're just a click away. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or find us online at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
The Arizona State University student paper, The State Press, breaking a major news story over the weekend by confirming the U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine had resigned following accusations he had collaborated with President Donald Trump to put pressure on Ukraine to investigate political rivals. Andrew Howard, a 20-year-old junior, told Time he learned the envoy had resigned from an unnamed university official. Shortly after publishing, Howard tweeted his thanks to the state readers to the state reader's audience on Twitter and asked his hundreds of new followers to donate to the student-run news organization. Even celebrities such as Seth Meyers took to social media to say, "I love that the ASU student newspaper broke this story."
New developments this weekend. As 60 Minutes reported, the whistleblower whose complaint led Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi to launch an impeachment inquiry into Donald Trump may fear for their safety. A letter authored by the whistleblower's lawyer appears to outline concerns that his now infamous client may be identified in the coming months. The lawyer cites President Trump's renewed demands to know just who exactly the whistleblower is. That lawyer also claims a $50,000 bounty has been placed on any information that could lead to the identity of his client. Meanwhile, former Arizona Senator Jeff Flake is making headlines, telling fellow Republicans in the Washington Post op-ed there's still time to save your souls. Ever since retiring from Congress earlier this year, Flake has been one of the more vocal Republican critics of President Trump, saying in his op-ed that Republicans in power must stand by their principles, even if it means risking their careers. Flake said his decision to come out against President Trump, president's re-election, was actually an easy one, but he says he still has grave reservations about impeachment.
Arizona is the fastest growing state in the nation. That's according to the U.S. Census Bureau's 2018 American Community Survey. It estimates Arizona's population grew by 2.2% last year. That's the largest percentile increase by any other state. Arizona's total population grew by about 155,000 people from 2017 to 2018. And for perspective, that growth in a single year is equal to about 1/4 of the entire population of Wyoming. The executive director of the Maricopa Association of Governments telling Cronkite News 65 to 70% of the overall state growth occurred in Maricopa and Pinal counties. One major challenge of keeping up with this kind of growth, though, is ensuring Arizona's transportation infrastructure can handle the swelling population, which will take money.
And the state hasn't changed its gas tax since 1991. It's been 18 cents a gallon. And so the purchasing power of that has certainly declined. And so we're going to have to look with our colleagues at the state level, what we can do to augment those resources at the state level.
Here in the Valley, there's a dedicated sales tax that's able to keep up with infrastructure needs. However, if Arizona continues to grow at such a fast rate, the state will need to plan ahead to make sure everyone can fall in love with the Valentine state. And up next on Cronkite News, propane-powered buses.
We'll show you how some schools are switching to propane in order to help improve the environment here in the Valley of the Sun. Don't go away.
Of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Welcome to another edition of Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Taylor Rocha. Let's talk sports.
For the latest on local sports and beyond, we've got you covered.
Let's do this thing.
We challenge reporters to go beyond, a game story. We want stories with depth.
It's just a crucial step from the college experience into the professional experience while you're still in school.
At Cronkite Sports Now, watch the journalists of tomorrow cover sports today.
Some school districts in Arizona are making the switch to propane-powered school buses in an effort to reduce emissions in Arizona.
Cronkite News reporter Peter Gong shows us how this move will benefit the environment.
Several school districts in Arizona are able to buy new propane-powered buses thanks to some new state funding. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey awarded $7.5 million to 35 school districts in Arizona for purchasing diesel and alternative fuel buses. The portion of the funding came from a Volkswagen settlement after the company violated the Clean Air Act by modifying their cars to pass the emissions test. One school district in Flagstaff finds several advantages with propane-powered buses.
They actually are less expensive because they do run cleaner. That means that there's less in the emission systems, there are fewer EPA parts in a propane-powered bus.
One study from West Virginia University found that propane-powered school buses emit less pollution. Data in the study shows that propane emits less carbon dioxide than diesel vehicles and also has lower nitrogen and carbon monoxide emissions. According to Ron Pope with the Maricopa County Air Quality Department, the age of the school bus contributes to the difference on emissions between propane and diesel buses.
The emissions for a propane-powered school bus is it's a little less than a diesel power, but it's not a dramatic difference. When compared to older vehicles, it is a dramatic difference.
There are still issues with propane-powered vehicles that have to be considered. The initial cost to buy propane-powered school bus is more than other school buses. Most fleets still run on diesel, and there are very few public propane refueling stations. They have to be refilled on site. But the benefits include lower maintenance and fuel costs, as well as being better for the environment. In Flagstaff, Peter Gahn, Cronkite News.
Flagstaff Unified School District plans to add more propane-powered school buses in the future. And today is the last official day of the monsoon, but unfortunately the season didn't deliver as much rainfall as many of us had hoped for.
We were all hoping that most weeks would be like last week when it was raining every day. But at least when we were coming to school or going to work this morning, we could roll our windows down.
Finally, yes, and actually some cooler air finally filtering in behind that storm system. But you know, the big weather story today is actually not here in Arizona. Let's show you a video out of Montana. This is, wow. I mean, what is it? What month is it again? It's
almost October, I think?
It's almost October, but yeah, here we are, late September, and many cities up in Montana actually managed to pick up about 48 inches of snow. That is about 4 feet. But you know, Matthew, 48 inches of snow in September, I mean, we don't live in the Arctic Circle, right?
That's insane.
It's making me miss Colorado, where I just moved from. I mean, I want to go back.
Yes, definitely. Well, fortunately, no snow to track in our forecast here for the time being, but I want to talk about the monsoon stats real quick because we're wrapping things up here, and officially no more rain in the forecast for the rest of the day. But here in Phoenix, we only managed to pick up about 25% of our average monsoon total. As you can see, our average is about 2 3/4 for the year, and this actually fell right about number 4 in spot for the top 5 driest of monsoons ever here in the valley. Again, records going all the way back to 1896. And Flagstaff, pretty much the same thing again. 25%, only 2 inches up there at the Flagstaff airport, and their normal is nearly 8.5 inches in Flagstaff. So that puts them at the top driest monsoon ever in Flagstaff. So it was felt definitely statewide across the state. And you know, if you're asking yourself, out of all the rain that we got last week, what did it exactly do to our drought? Well, we can show you here. Not a whole lot. As you can see, severe drought is still taking over lots of parts of our state, including right here in the Valley of the Sun and up to the north along parts of the high country. So, you know, we need to get some good soaking rains anytime soon to relieve some of that drought relief. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that here in the near future. In fact, cooler temperatures are going to be staying with us. As you can see, lows. Now we're getting to the time of year where we have to track freezes up north. We're talking 26 there at the Grand Canyon and 20s there in Flagstaff as well. High temperatures will rebound to those 60s, and those cooler temperatures will stay here in the valley as well. If you consider 90 cool, that's about a few degrees below our average for this time of year. So along with the cooler temperatures, you know, we have fall color that we're going to be starting to track here soon. Now, as you can see up to the north, just in a couple weeks, course, we're going to start to see those beautiful shades of yellow and orange begin to fill up along the rim and eventually make their way down into southern portions of the state as we head throughout the month of October. So the more cool nights we can get here in the valley, as well as across the entire state, then the better chances we'll see of getting that fall color. But check out the 7-day forecast here for Phoenix. Tomorrow, the coolest day for the next 7, because we're warming things all the way back up to 90s. Check out the weekend, Jenny. Back up to 97, just a few degrees shy of that triple-digit mark.
I mean, as long as we're staying short of the triple digits, that's good. Up next, a new law that could open the door to student athletes making cash while playing college sports.
And it's your chance to weigh in on whether or not this should be allowed right here in Arizona.
Cronkite News, we work hard to report the facts and keep you updated, whether we're on set or on the scene.
Taking it from the studio to the field. So I'm here in South Phoenix.
In Phoenix, we're just a click away. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or find us online at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Under a new law just signed by California Governor Gavin Newsom, college athletes in California will soon be able to be paid for endorsements. The measure would give student athletes the ability to benefit financially from their name, image, and likeness. The Fair Pay to Play Act takes effect January 1st, 2023. Currently, the NCAA bans student athletes from making any money while playing college sports. In a statement today from the NCAA, quote, "As a membership organization, the NCAA agrees changes are needed to continue to support student athletes. But improvement needs to happen on a national level through the NCAA's rules-making process." So we want to hear from you now. Do you agree with California's new law allowing student athletes to get paid for their name and likeness? So far, nearly 70% of you say yes. Just go to our Cronkite News Sports Facebook page to join the conversation and vote in our live interactive poll.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and the PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, a state lawmaker and victim of gun violence appears in front of Congress, and how best to handle the increasing rate of homelessness among seniors. Next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, the impeachment inquiry intensifies as a whistleblower's concerns are increasingly verified. Coming up after Cronkite News and Arizona Horizon on Arizona PBS.
That is it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
And of course, for top Arizona stories anytime, you can always find us online at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
We can't continue to allow China to rape our country.
Cooperation is the only choice for the United States.
If the government asked for the data, would you have to turn it over?
Such a great amount of change in such a short amount of time.
Welcome to China.
On Arizona PBS.
Spain, 1977. The Pact of Forgetting decrees a state-imposed amnesia of Franco-era crimes. A country still divided learns that you can't force people to forget. The silence of others.
All new tonight at 9 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.